To round up today's top stories in the world of science with TTV science and tech expert Dan Riskin. Dan, it's been a minute. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you both.
You as well. Listen, we've all heard the term snowflake, kind of the sensitive kid. You know, that's what you call someone when they sometimes can't even take a joke. But if you want to have more resilient kids, you teach them creativity so they're not snowflakes.
You know, I love this science story because when we think about setting up kids for success in the future, we often talk about science and technology and, and math and all that stuff that I'm supposed to be promoting. But this is a study that shows that taking theater classes or drama classes and other literature classes, arts classes, really helps kids develop into more resilient people. And the thing that they learn in those classes is something called perspective shifting. So they did a big study using science, of course, where they looked at the ability of kids to be resilient when they were pushed back against by their teachers. So basically, kids were asked to solve a problem, and they tried to come up with a solution. And then the teacher said, you know what, that solution probably won't work. Do you have any other ideas? And the kids had to come up with another idea. It's a hard task, but a nice mirror for what's going to happen in their future as they go into their real working world. And what they found is if they gave kids an exercise beforehand that helped them with perspective shifting, if they said, don't think about how you would answer this question, but think about how one of your creative friends would answer this question, which is a kind of exercise you get from theater or from literature when you think about other people's perspectives, kids were way more resilient. They went from about half being able to do what they were asked to do to 94% being able to do what they were asked to do. And so this really drives home the point that when we teach kids arts, we're giving them tools that they can use to become great scientists, doctors, or artists. But it's not just a frivolous extra for education. It's a fundamentally important part of a kid learning how to function in the world.
Okay, so Dan, on the subject of learning, literally, Iowa is using ChatGPT to choose what books to ban. How does this work?
Oh, this is nuts. I mean, the whole thing. So in Iowa, they passed a law that said that, there can't be anything for kids that isn't age appropriate. And so they don't want kids in high school reading anything with descriptions of sex or depictions of sex. And I guess kids in high school in Iowa aren't supposed to know that sex exists. So they've put this law in place, and the librarians at the schools are at a tough spot because they couldn't go in and read all the books really quickly to see if any of them fit the description of having a sex scene in it, basically. So they turned to ChatGPT, and they used this AI engine to check all the books that they hadn't read recently to find out if any of them were going to be technically illegal in Iowa to be in a school library, and they picked the books to ban based on this. And what's so ironic about this is that the way that ChatGPT is smart is because it's read everything, and it reads a ton, and the more you feed it information, the smarter it gets. And we're using that tool to prevent kids from reading certain things because we're worried that they're going to get the wrong ideas. And it's just really like a real sort of driving home of missing the point. But here they're using artificial intelligence to pick what books to ban.
Yeah, it's so crazy that AI just, becomes more and more entrenched into our everyday society, and now including learning. I'm sure it'll help prevent kids from, or help catch kids who are cheating as well. Moving to the next topic. Usually parasites are bad, but it seems hookworm might actually help fight diabetes. Say what?
This is a weird one, and I'm a parasite guy. I love parasites. I've worked on TV shows that are just totally about parasites, and so part of me kind of cheers for them in a sick way. I kind of like them. They're kind of like the underdogs of the animal world. But this is a study that basically starts from the fact that when you look at a lot of countries where people have a lot of parasites, they often don't have diabetes. And when people move to countries where the worms and other parasites are sort of wiped out of their bodies, diabetes becomes more prevalent. And so they wondered whether the worms might be preventing diabetes. And so in this study, they took a bunch of people in the States who were healthy and did not have worms that were at risk for developing diabetes. And then they infected them voluntarily. People signed up for this with hookworm, which is basically it's a parasite that it doesn't make you feel very good in your belly, but it's not one of the bad parasites that can really like cause end of life or anything like that. And what they found is when people got a relatively medium number of parasites, their insulin resistance went down. So they became they moved away from the diabetes on the spectrum of diabetesness, and those who did not get those parasites continued on their march towards diabetes. And so it's possible that there's something complicated going on in the human body where when we have parasites, our body works a little bit better with respect to sugar regulation and insulin. And maybe part of the reason diabetes is so prevalent now is because our bodies aren't having the kinds of battles they're used to with parasites. And so it's a really interesting direction for research. I don't know that I want to take a whole bunch of parasites on purpose. I think I'll just try to avoid sugar in general, but it's an interesting story nonetheless.
No, you don't want to be infected with some hookworm, Dan Riskin?
No, not today. Not on a Monday. Maybe on a Thursday. We'll see how
On
I
a
feel.
Thursday? Okay, we'll check back in with
we'll
you.
Circle back.
CTV science and tech expert Dan Riskin. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
And let's tee things up for a good cause this morning. The Pinball Clemens Foundation's Invitational Golf Tournament. It is coming up.
And for more on the event and the funds raised, we're joined by friend of the show, Michael Pinball Clemens himself, and also Rachel Powell, a bursary recipient. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right.
All right, so September 12th, the tournament's coming up. Set the
Yes.
scene for us. What are we expecting, Pinball?
So it's Whittington Lakes Golf Club, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful course, right? And we'll be going out and playing golf. Yeah, I guess that's what you kind of do at
Sounds
a
good to
golf
me.
tournament. So, but there'll be we got a lot of people who are coming in to join you. Carlo Kaliakovo, Damon Allen, Jack Armstrong. That's so much energy. I love that guy. And so lots of celebrities will be out to come to play. But more important is the cause.
Absolutely. Rochelle, let's
Yes.
talk about the cause.
Yes.
You're a bursary recipient from the Pinball Clemens Foundation here. Talk about what that means to you and how important this is and how it's helped you.
Oh, the bursary program has been really helpful to me, specifically because most of our community don't really get the support system, and I'm a testimony of it. I received the recipient. I'm a recipient, and I graduated from Ryerson last year, and I'm a practicing nurse at the moment.
Phenomenal. Yeah. That's
How
excellent.
special is that to get, not a handout, but a hand up, just to actually be able to move forward and start achieving some of your dreams?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is very important, because not a lot of people have that support system. Like, the foundation is not just promising, but they deliver. So it's important to me because now I'm able to achieve my goals and have a support team, like a group of people who you could call at any time. And, when you're finished school, like, oh, bye-bye, all done, it's a continuous support. So I'm really appreciative of it.
And that's so important that it continues like that. And Pinball, what's that like to be able to use your celebrity, let's call it that, to be able to reward people who are so deserving of something like that, to sort of be able to help and sort of help nurture and help develop people?
I consider it more of a responsibility. My wife and I did she just got such a great story. My wife and I did a party, a Christmas party at a shelter for many years. And one morning I woke up, we do it on Christmas Eve because I wanted to be as close to Christmas as possible. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, wow, we feel pretty good about what happened yesterday. And the kids were happy, but today they're waking up and they don't have that family that we're going to unite with, and so the idea was that they deserve more, right? And so we wanted to not just sort of, as you say, give a hand out, right? But a hand up, and so well said. And that's really the spirit of what we do is we take young people where they are, right? And then try to bridge them over so that they can then actually be able to take care of themselves, right? So she is self-sufficient and doing her thing and just so happy. She is why we do what we do.
I see you getting emotional talking about where the money goes, the people it helps, the real, true human stories behind it. That's why you do this. What is it like to see these young boys and girls from marginalized, racialized communities who are able to go on, like Rochelle, to go to university, to be able to build towards something in their lives. Maybe one day they can give back like pinball.
The idea is we all have something to give, right? And if it's a kind word or something, we all have something to give, and so give where you can. I do want to say that in order for this to happen, we do have a few more foursomes that we need to fill in, and so if people will recognize that, but for us, right, that we have now about 3,000 young people a year that we mentor. 100 young people are going through the bursary program where we take care of books and tuition, mentor them along the way, and then get them a job within 14 days of graduation. But over 2,000 young people a year in the programs that we're affiliated with go directly into a job, and that's the finish point. It's not just a job, it's actually a career as well.
That's remarkable. Listen, Pinball, thanks so much for doing this. Good luck with the tournament September the 12th. Foursome's still available, so check that out. And Rochelle, congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. Love your story, and I'm so glad that this has helped you all out in a way. So thanks so much.
The kids go back to school next week, and there's a lot of preparation before that happens for parents and kids, and some of that includes DIYing some of our favorite things that we see at school. We're joined by Denise Wild, who's the DIY expert, and is walking us through some of these customizations.
Yes, so these are just fun projects that you can do to personalize and customize your back-to-school experience. Fun crafts that your kids will love doing this weekend as they're preparing. You know, it's our last few days, so let's have them doing something fun. First of all, let's start with patches, because patchwork is super popular. These are great to do, you know, on your lunch bag, maybe on your backpack, on your denim jacket. So what I'll have you do, Eden, is take any of these patches. We're going to add some fabric glue. Oh, wait, you took the cap off.
Oh,
hold on. There's a little nozzle.
You know.
Yeah. She's new at this. She's new. Okay, so just squeeze on the fabric glue. And these are, you know, you can just find like embroidered appliques. Sometimes they can be ironed on. Sometimes they can be sewed on. It just depends on what you're putting them onto. Yeah, just be nice and generous with that glue. Excellent. And then put it on. This is a fabric glue that'll take like 24 hours to dry. You'd want to leave that on there, but then you can dress that up any which way you want. You know, personalize it with some letters, whatever you want.
Make it a little more fun, right? And
Yeah,
I feel like this is
exactly.
something that you can update the patches every year, depending on what kind it is.
Exactly.
Kind of reuse it.
Super plain lunch boxes from the dollar store too. So there you go.
Nice and easy. And that's the only thing you can customize, right? Sometimes, you know, you can't always buy a new pair of shoes, but you can put some new charms on them.
Yeah, so this is something that I love. These are shoe charms. These are beaded shoe charms, and I'm going to have you do this too. So we just have some elastic cord. You're going to take some of these beads and thread them on here. I just use a little bit of jewelry hardware, and then, you know, it just adds some personality, add some style to your shoes. You can add little charms on there, whatever you want to do. Just dressing it up, you know, you can change them out each season, whenever you feel like it. And
it's something that's easy for people of all ages, right? I can see even young kids having a lot of fun with this because it's so easy to do.
Absolutely, yeah. This is great for really young kids. They can work on their, you know, motor dexterity. And, you know, older kids love beading. It's very therapeutic, very zen. You can get into the zone.
I love that. And we love customization, which is why this one is my personal favorite. I was telling Denise that even though my name's fairly common, I never get to get the things with my name on it, but this solves that problem.
Okay, yeah, so this is a little zipper pull or a name charm. And again, you know, it's a fun beading project that you can do just with a little clasp, and then put some beads on, put some letters on, and then it's another way to personalize everything that you have at school. Let me do this here.
And we were chatting a little bit about, you know, because it's a clip, you can kind of put it anywhere. Lunch bag, you can put it in a water bottle. Some kids put them on their phones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really fun to do. Let me see. I do have the letters of your name. Let's see how fast I can do this.
She's making my dreams come true, everyone. I finally get something personalized to my name. And I like that a lot of these things can be used in conjunction with each other. Like you can use some of the beads from this activity, place them over here. You can put the names on the shoes. Talk to me a little bit about how important it is to have that versatility when it comes to DIY projects like this.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is, it's just about being creative, you know, using what you have or picking up some inexpensive supplies and just thinking outside of the box, adding some personality, adding some style. You know, we're all heading back to school and we're excited to see our friends. So let's dress up our back to school return.
And doing it all at a minimal cost, which we always like to see. And Denise, where can people find you if they'd like some more DIY tips?
My website is denisewild.com, and on social, I'm at @me_DeniseWild.
All right, thank you, Denise.
Well, Abish Matthew has become a YouTube sensation in his native India with more than 1 million subscribers to his channel, amassing 132 million views.
And he's now landed for his first ever Canadian tour. Welcome to Canada and CP24 Breakfast, Abish.
Thank you very much.
And we've been chatting a little bit before we came on air, and it's not your first time in Canada or your first time in Toronto. Talk to us a little bit about your journey here and why you have such a connection to Canada.
That's because my parents are now officially Canadians.
Congratulations.
They've been here for like 6 or 7 years. My brother and sister-in-law moved here like 15 years ago. So I've been coming to Canada for like a decade.
I can only call one person at a time.
Oh, your phone is going off.
Yes, as you can see. Yes. But they've been, I've been coming here for a decade and a half. So I've kind of seen BC mostly. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like a great vacation spot for me. Toronto, on the other hand, it's got this great vibe that I can kind of look at it like this is a place that I can be. So yeah, it's awesome.
So what do you make of the audiences in Canada as compared to India in terms of like, does your comedy change or do you sort of keep it all the same and it's just the audiences appreciate it regardless?
You know, the premises are exactly the same because we all speak the same human language. Sometimes the punchline, you might have to kind of move that around. Like there's a place called Rajiv Chowk in Delhi, which is like a huge intersection. But I can change that up with Spadina.
Okay.
Oh,
Because you never get off at Spadina, you get off at St. George, right? If you got to come down.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Look at that, you learn fast.
That's a tip. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, and Toronto, Canada in general, has one of the largest India diasporas in the world. So similar to Nick's question, now that you're planning your first ever Canadian tour, how do you kind of tailor it not only to Canadians, but to each city that you're traveling to?
The objective is not to tailor it. The objective is to have a new set for each city. So if I go to Montreal, I want to have a Montreal-specific joke so that I'm also lazy as a comedian. You don't want to keep writing new punchlines.
Sure.
You come up with a punchline, you really want to keep it forever. So that way, I think the opening of each set kind of changes according to the city. Rest, like I said, is human experience. So.
Now, you've also got a pretty popular YouTube channel, Son of Abish, which I love the name. I think the play on words, like, aren't you just happy your parents named you Abish? Because it just works so nicely, right?
It is.
That has a mass, like I mentioned, 1 million followers, 132 million viewers, et cetera. Like, so you're getting great numbers there. What is it for a comedian in particular that social media can really help you get your name, get your act out there, and people may not have heard of you? Now, not only are you here, but you're on social as well like that.
Right. I think social media kind of leveled the playing field. Because like we don't get cameras with like teleprompters coming up. So sometimes you have your own cell phones to promote your own work. So I feel like social media is a great place to be like your work profile to be out there. And it's for the people who like you from around the world to be like, okay, I like this guy. I want to follow this person a little bit more. So I think it kind of democratizes the entire system. But I also feel sometimes there's too much that I put out. So I gotta kind of reel it back in a little bit.
Having a little bit of space and personal time.
Yes.
And Abish, real quickly, tell us where we can find you if anyone wants to see your work before your tour this weekend.
As a matter of fact, if you're in Toronto, I would recommend you come on the 3rd of September for the show. But from the 1st to 4th for the Hot and Spicy Festival that's happening, harbourfrontcenter.com is a place to be. Kailash Kher is performing, who is one of my favorite singers, and it'd be awesome for you to hear his voice and his band Kailasa, so that's where you got to be.
Yeah, getting a whole taste of the food, flavor, and funniness coming out of India. Indeed, Abish, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Great to meet you.
Hey, likewise,
Appreciate
thank
this
you very
time.
much.
Okay. All right, welcome back to CP24 Breakfast, and this is an exciting weekend. Certainly, it's the Labor Day long weekend, and an annual event is coming back. Of course, we're talking about Busker Fest. So for more on what you can expect at Busker Fest this weekend, we kind of have a sneak peek of it right here in our parking lot at 299 Queen Street West. Mackenzie Muldoon is here. She's the festival director, entertainment director, and is joining us this morning. Mackenzie,
good morning, Nick.
I look forward to Busker Fest every year. It's so cool, all the different kind of acts and stuff. Let's talk about the festival. Oh, you have a microphone on, so I don't have to give this to you. So let's talk about Busker Busker Fest, the planning that goes into it, and what can people expect this weekend?
Well, this weekend we have over 100 performers from all over the world converging on Woodbine Park for 4 days of amazing performances. We've also got things like a beer garden, a family fun zone with all kinds of interactive stuff for the kids. We have a new feature this year called Bark in the Park TO, so we don't want to leave out our four-legged friends. So there's a whole area dedicated to dogs. We have dog performers, even a cat performing.
Really?
And all kinds of great stuff this weekend.
A cat performing, and of course you've brought your dog in today, who's kind of the poster dog, as it were, for Bark in the Park as well.
She is not a performer, but she is damn cute.
Yes, she is indeed. Yeah, she's adorable. Okay, so let's get to the performers that you've brought to the parking lot this morning to give us a sort of sampling and taste. Starting with Silver Elvis. Give us a sense of Silver Elvis.
Silver Elvis. This is Elvis's silver anniversary. He's been Silver Elvising for 25 years now. He's a big part of our festival. He's a local Torontonian. You probably recognize him, and he brings so much beauty to the park. We love him every year. He's a fan favorite.
Elvis, if I could just quickly ask you, I'm always curious, the makeup, how long does that take to get on?
8 minutes today.
8 minutes, okay. And what can we expect from you this weekend?
Well, we're going to have the artist performance wall, quad wall of 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet of collaborative art going on while I'm on my chopper, encouraging the audience to hang and have fun with our creativity on the quad wall at this event. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, I love the look, absolutely. Okay, moving on from Silver Elvis right now, Mackenzie, let's talk about the amazing Martika. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, she's not going to be able to talk while we do this, but she is a swords follower extraordinaire. Not only that, but she also hula hoops with barbed wire and does all kinds of other fantastic but a little bit nutty things.
Is that really going all the way down your throat?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, how did you learn this?
Oh, you find somebody who is willing to teach you. You have to have a mentor. You don't wake up and decide, I'm going to swallow 16 and a half inches through my mouth down into my stomach. It's training that takes years to do.
Wow, okay, Martika, I'm always fascinated by that. That is remarkable, and good luck, and I hope that's not too sharp. Okay, Mackenzie, let's move on here because we got a little fire action in the parking lot.
That's right.
This is North Fire Circus. Tell us about this.
Well, every night at 9:30 p.m., North Fire Circus will be performing Friday to Sunday. They have an incredible fire show, and on Sunday they're going to be joined by Dr. Draw, the amazing musician, and it's going to be that you got to stay for the fire show.
Okay, I need to talk to one of you at least about this. So, have you ever been burned while you've been performing?
Never seriously. I'm always very careful and very safe.
Never seriously. I love that answer there. And what kind of practice goes into this? Because I mean, like, I can feel the heat from where I'm standing right now.
Honestly, we practice not on fire for a very long time before we decide to go and light it up.
Yeah, okay, and it's cool, and especially at night when the sun's down, this would look amazing.
It always looks spectacular. We are performing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah, perfect timing. Okay, so watch for North Fire Circus if you get out to, of course, Busker Fest this weekend. And Mackenzie, let's move over here and talk to the Bubble Fairy. And we got some, I know there's a bit of an issue with the bubbles this morning, but tell us more about the Bubble Fairy.
Bubbles, it's true. It's difficult because it's a bit chilly, but as it warms up this weekend, she can do incredible tricks with those bubbles. She is one of the many roaming performers that we have that are an extra addition to the festival, including our buskers who perform and put their hat out. Some of our performers are here just roaming, making the place beautiful. She'll be around the family fun zone where we have interactive hula hooping and aerial arts and a whole Busker brick build zone too.
Right, and we should point out, Mackenzie, and I appreciate you blowing all these bubbles out here, that Eden DeBebe, who is, I'm going to send it back to you right now.
Yes.
She is going to be part of the opening this afternoon. Tell us about that.
At noon, our festival opens at noon. So starting around 11:45, we've got some really special performances happening. A group show with some of our best performers to launch the festival. We're so excited to have Eden there to launch it off with style. So if you can make it out today at noon, that's going to be a big bang to start us off.
It certainly will. Eden, I expect to see you with a flaming hula hoop around your waist or something like that. Anyway, it's back to you right now.
Well, I think I'm more partial to the sword myself, but it might take a few years to figure out.